If you're exhausted every morning, the problem might not be your sleep. It might be what you're doing after 5 p.m. Because let's be honest, by 5 p.m. most moms are running on fumes, you're overstimulated, you haven't sat down all day, and everyone needs something from you. So when you finally get a second, you do what feels good in the moment. You grab something quick to eat. You finally sit down and you scroll. And none of that seems like a big deal, but what if what you're doing after 5 p.m. is actually deciding how you're going to feel tomorrow morning? For years, I thought I was exhausted because of how much sleep I was getting, but my exhaustion was starting before my head even hit the pillow. It was starting in the evening. Once I changed a few small evening habits, not adding more to my plate, just tweaking a few things here and there, and changing the order, my mornings stopped feeling brutal. I wasn't waking up already behind. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 simple habits to do after 5 p.m. that can completely change your morning the next day. And none of them require more time, more willpower, or a complete life overhaul. Let's start with one tiny change that will improve your sleep tonight. Habit number 1 is to turn the temperature down. If your bedroom is too warm, your body is going to struggle to get into deep sleep, no matter how exhausted you are. Your body actually has to cool down in order to sleep well. And if it can't do that, your sleep is going to be more broken and lighter. One of my students was doing everything right. She went to bed at the same time, woke up at the same time every day. She's got 3 little kids, and she was still waking up exhausted. So she tried a few small changes, including this, lowering the temperature in her room at night. Nothing extreme, just a few simple shifts in her routine. Within a week, she woke up and thought, wait a minute, I slept through the night last night. And it kept on happening. She felt rested and clear, like her body was finally figuring out how to rest again. So here's what's happening. At night, your body naturally drops in temperature, and that drop helps you to fall asleep and stay asleep. If your room is too warm, your body has to work harder to cool off. And when your body is working, your sleep is going to be lighter. Most experts suggest a cool room, usually around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius or 65 to 68 Fahrenheit, and that is ideal for sleep. It's not freezing, not at all. It's not stuffy, it's just slightly cool. So here's a tiny thing you can do tonight that will improve your sleep, and that is lower the temperature, probably 2 or 3 degrees down from what you're used to, or just open your window a crack. And you might notice a difference right away. You're falling asleep faster, you're waking up less during the night, you feel better the next day. It's a small change, you get an immediate result, and it doesn't take any extra time or willpower. It's great. So your body needs the right conditions to sleep. One of those is the temperature, and another one is fuel. And if you're new here, I'm Erica, and I help exhausted moms to get their energy back by making really small, doable changes. No drastic workouts or diets, no overwhelm. If that's what you need, hit subscribe, and let's get into one small dinner tweak you can make that will make a big difference overnight. Habit number 2 is having a high protein dinner. You ever notice that late night, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. kind of snack attack feeling that you have? Most of the time, it's not a willpower thing, it's just that you didn't have enough protein at dinner to fill you up. Now, I will say that if I'm pregnant or breastfeeding, no matter how much protein I have at dinner, I still need that snack at 8 or 9 p.m. So keep that in mind. If you just need to eat a small high protein snack at night because you legitimately are hungry for a biological reason, I have like a hard-boiled egg or a small bowl of cottage cheese or something like that. I used to love late night snacking. Popcorn, chocolate, whatever was easy and sounded good. I was tired, and honestly, I just enjoy food. So I enjoy food whatever the time of day it is. But after I made the shift and started focusing on eating more protein in general, especially at dinner, I did notice that I wasn't drawn to snacks like I used to be. That one simple change was making protein kind of the star of my meal. Usually meat, sometimes eggs or beans as well. And the result was that I was full for hours after, so I wasn't thinking about snacks nearly as much. So here's why this matters for your sleep. When you eat sugary or carb-heavy snacks before bed, your blood sugar rises right before bed. Your body then has to work to bring that blood sugar down while you're sleeping. That rising and falling of the blood sugar can pull you out of deep sleep. So sometimes that looks like waking up in the middle of the night for no obvious reason, or waking up hot or restless, or you need to get up to use the bathroom and get a drink. And when your blood sugar drops too low overnight, your body releases stress hormones to bring it back up to a normal level, and that can basically be a little wake-up signal. So even if you technically sleep all night, the sleep isn't as deep or restorative. On top of that, if you're eating right before bed, your body is still digesting instead of fully settling down. So protein helps prevent that because it's keeping you fuller longer, and it keeps your blood sugar more steady throughout the evening. So instead of fighting cravings at 9 p.m. every night, you're just setting yourself up earlier with a dinner that actually satisfies you. Your body can't fully rest while it's busy digesting snacks and chasing blood sugar levels. If you're realizing that a few small tweaks like this could make a big difference for your energy, I actually go deeper in my free workshop. I walk through the small shifts that I made to go from tired and exhausted with many health issues to having the energy and the strength to live off-grid with my 3 little kids, homeschool, homestead, all those good things. So if you want to watch that, I'll link that in the description below for you. All right, let's keep going. So dinner sets the stage for avoiding those late night snacks. Next, we're going to show your body that it is bedtime by dimming the lights. Habit number 3 is dim the lights. So if your house is fully lit at 9 p.m., that is telling your brain, telling your body that it is daytime, not time to rest. And your brain will not fully power down if it thinks the sun's still up. I used to clean the kitchen under those bright overhead lights, answer messages, fold laundry, whatever I had to do, just full brightness everywhere. Then I'd climb into bed and try to fall asleep. When we moved to our off-grid cabin here, bright overhead lights just weren't even an option anymore. Like, we have lamps and these low level light fixtures throughout the cabin, and it feels very cozy and moody. And that really changed how I felt in the evenings and in the morning. Light tells your brain what time it is. So bright light in the evening delays the release of melatonin, which is the hormone that helps you sleep. You don't need a whole complicated new routine, just dim the lights after dinner. I heard this phrase once, think cozy, not Costco. We don't want bright blue light, we want more golden soft dim light to help us ease down to bedtime. This is a signal to your body. We're winding down. The sun has gone down. It is time to relax and rest. And your body responds to that. Now, lowering the lights helps your brain to prepare for sleep. But there's one thing that can override that signal instantly, and I'm sure you know what it is. Habit number 4 is to get off screens before bed. You cannot scroll your nervous system into deep sleep. It's not going to happen. Your brain does not know the difference between, I'll just watch one reel, and stimulation. It's all the same. I used to tell myself I was relaxing at night, phone in hand, scrolling, watching videos, and I put my phone down and my mind would just race and race and race for a long time until I fell asleep. When I decided to work on this, I took it slow. I just replaced 20 minutes of scrolling with 20 minutes of something that actually relaxed me right before bed, like usually reading a really good book or sometimes stretching, sometimes chatting with my husband. I began to fall asleep faster and stopped lying there, replaying the day or even replaying what I had just viewed on my phone. Screens do 2 things. They give off light, which tells your brain that it's still time to be awake, right? Just like the bright overhead lights do. And they stimulate your mind. The content feels harmless, but your brain is still processing, working so hard to absorb what you're seeing, especially if you're just, quick scrolling through Facebook or Instagram Reels. Now, you don't need to eliminate screens for 3 hours before bed. That would probably be awesome, but it's not realistic. Start with 20 to 30 minutes before bed. Just protect that little stretch, the last little stretch of your evening. You can do it. and it will make falling asleep and getting that quality, restful sleep easier. Now you've cooled the room, you haven't mindlessly snacked, you've dimmed the lights, and you're not on your phone anymore. But here's one final piece that ties that all together, and that is habit number 5, go to bed at the same time every night. Your body loves rhythm, and chaos in the evening is going to create chaos in the morning. For a long time, my bedtime depended on just how the day went, right? Some nights 9:30, some nights 11:15, some nights I deserve this show or to watch YouTube for a while on the couch. But I'd wake up tired either way. Once I committed to a specific bedtime, I noticed I'd naturally wake up at the same time every morning, and I felt much better rested when I got up. Now, you don't have to go to bed at the same time every day, like down to the very minute. Like, we're not being psycho here. But, within 15 minutes on either side of that time, every night will do it. Your body runs on an internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. When you go to bed at wildly different times every night, your body gets confused. But when you keep your bedtime consistent, your body prepares for sleep automatically because it's in that rhythm. It knows sleep's coming. It's time to rest. You get sleepy faster, you wake up easier, and it doesn't require more effort, just consistency and repetition. None of these habits are dramatic. They're really small, but together they are protecting your energy and making it so that you stop waking up already drained. So if you are feeling bad about yourself or being exhausted, it might just be your evenings. And if this video made you realize that your evenings might be the problem, remember to check out my free workshop where I walk you through step by step the way I regained my energy. Because most moms don't need more discipline, they just need the right steps in the right order. You can grab that workshop in the link down below. There are also often some deeper things that are happening that keep moms stuck in exhaustion and overwhelm, and I dive into those in this video, so you can watch that next.